Hi there, I'm Mike, and after about a week of painful deliberation, what I have for you today is my top 10 Black Series figure list of 2018. Now, I have a lot of things to say, and it's not just a top 10 list. I'm gonna have some runners up, and I'm gonna talk about my least favorite figures in the line for this year. I just wanna get it all out of the way in one video rather than making multiple videos about this because that's too much work, honestly. So if you don't want to watch that, there's a timestamp somewhere in the downstairs area. You can click on that or go to it, whatever you want to do to skip to the actual top 10 list. Now, before we get into the review, I just want to say that this list is my opinion. And even if you go back and watch my reviews of them, maybe I gave some things great reviews and maybe I reviewed some things better than others, but they're higher on the list. These are the figures that I feel are my favorite. Not maybe technically the best. These are the figures that I love. And maybe that's the same for you, and maybe you can use this list to kind of make your decisions. That's great. But I just want to clarify that before we jump in. But for now, let's talk about the worst figures of the year, because, I mean, that's important too, right? There really weren't any what I would consider stinkers of the line. But we'll talk briefly about what I consider to be the worst figures this year. This is 5, and why I have them there. So starting with number 5, this is DJ Canto Bite. And the reason he's here is I don't feel like he really looks like Benicio del Toro. One of the big things that I'll talk about a lot in this video is face printing, and it's the big new thing of 2018. Figures that would have been maybe mediocre in the past because Hasbro's not great with faces are now amazing because of that technology. This one kind of suffers because while it does have the face printing, it doesn't really look like Benicio. If you want to go back and watch my review of that, that is on the channel somewhere, but that's number 5 of the worst. Number 4 came out pretty recently. This is Moloch from the Solo movie, and the reason he's here is even though I gave him a pretty good review, if you want to go back and watch that, I did review him before I saw the movie a second time, and the problem with him is this. I'm sure at some point the movie character was going to be a worm like this. When I got this figure, I just assumed, oh, he's a worm in the movie, I just didn't notice. But when I went back and watched it, no. There's clearly a scene where he's going downstairs and he has legs. He's not a worm. He has a human lower half. It kind of bugs me and it soured me a little bit on an otherwise pretty decent figure with a lot of great detail. And even though he doesn't have anything below the waist in terms of articulation, there's a lot of other stuff that makes up for it. And now that I found that that's inaccurate, it kind of bums me out. It's a no, and that's sad. And then 3, 2, and 1, or I guess just a tie for number 1, are the Amazon Red Squadron 3-pack. This is the only figure this year that I bought that made me like not want to buy it. Like I almost didn't buy these, even though they were mostly new and I didn't have them and I have to have a complete collection. I just didn't want to buy these. It's 60 bucks for 3 astromech droids that, unlike the last 3-pack, don't come with any accessories whatsoever. Sure, we get an R2, and sure, that R2's dirty. And yeah, we get kind of the novelty of owning Jack Porkins R5 unit, but other than that, this is 60 bucks of basically what should have been $30 or $40 worth of toys, if not less than that. So that's it for my bottom 5. The next is gonna be my runners up, my honorable mentions. And I'm gonna get them out of the way now instead of in between number 2 and 1 that like some people do, because I don't feel like doing that. These are the figures that didn't quite make the cut. I'm not even gonna show them on here. I'm just gonna post a picture of them right here. I don't know what their actual numbers are, 15 through 11. You can make up your own. They're all in there, and I just don't want to take the time to kind of give them a numerical order. They're all great. Both vehicles, the Dewback and Enfys Nest Speeder, were both fantastic, but they just weren't good enough to crack the top 10. The 2 Troopers, fantastic. I wish I could have put them in the top 10. I really wanted to, especially with the fur. Also, there's Rio. I really like Rio. I think he's a fantastic character, and you know, I like that. So somewhere in there is 15 through 11. And we're gonna move on to the top 10 proper now. Starting with number 10 is the Rebel Trooper. The back half of this list was weirdly enough the hard part. I had the front half. The front half was set in, and it's been set in for a while. But the back half and figuring out what belongs there and what order it goes in was the thing that made me struggle the most. This figure is sort of a troop builder. A little bummed that it didn't come with like different faces. It could have come with a couple more accessories, in my opinion. You can go back and watch my review of it, but I love it. All the same. If you were like me and A New Hope was your first Star Wars, this is like the first thing you saw. This is Star Wars. So he made the list and he deserved it because he's great. And he was number 69. So, you know, there's that. I'm 12. Number 9 is Bespin Han Solo. Now this is the regular retail release. I don't have the San Diego Comic-Con release. All the same, the likeness to Harrison Ford is amazing. And even though maybe there were initially characters that I was more excited for when they got announced and things. When I got this figure in hand, I just absolutely fell in love with him. I love the outfit. Empire Strikes Back is my favorite movie, and this is the definitive Han Solo for me. When I think Han Solo in my mind, this is the outfit that he's wearing, and this is the movie that I see him the most in because it's my favorite movie. And they just really nailed that likeness. It just looks so good. Even though he only comes with his blaster, I don't really care. He still cracks my top 10 because I love him that much. And in that same nostalgic vein, moving on to number 9, we have Princess Leia in her Hoth outfit. And she squeaked just past Han Solo with it for a couple reasons. Number one, we have been long overdue for a spot-on Carrie Fisher likeness, and this nailed it absolutely to a T. Number 2, this was on my top 10 wish list, my most previous one. If you want to go back and see that, most of those figures have been announced or are out, and that's fantastic. Plus, she comes with a lot of accessories. She comes with her gun, which she doesn't ever really use, but it's nice that she comes with. She comes with goggles, and she comes with a little kind of welding torch that she used to repair the Falcon. Yes, another Leia came out this year that looks very similar to this, the Bestman Escape Target exclusive. And yeah, she's like 75% the same figure, but this one edges it out because of this being my favorite Princess Leia outfit, and she comes with more stuff, and I just like that better. Moving on to number 7, we have Grand Moff Tarkin. Yeah, it might be a surprise that he's so low on the list. He was an early favorite of the year. He was the figure that everyone was clamoring for when it came out. He was super hard to find when he came out, and when I got him, I was super excited for it. Sure, he just comes with a Dr. Ball, and maybe that Dr. Ball isn't the best. It could use a shinier paint job. Maybe the stand he comes with could be a little higher because he's a little short. I feel like it should be like up to here, not necessarily down here. But you know, those are little nitpicks to an otherwise fantastic figure. And again, this is one of those figures that, had it come out last year or the year before, may have just been a mediocre figure. But with the face printing technology, they nailed Peter Cushing's likeness, and I absolutely love it. And he's a must-have if you like Star Wars. Now, rounding out the bottom 5, so number 6 in the line, we have Captain Rex. But he was in my list last year, and he was a little higher last year. And that says more about the upcoming figures than this one, because this is still a good figure, if not better than last year's figure, because he has face printing with a much better likeness of Rex. But I feel weird putting him in the list 2 years in a row. So what I'm going to do is substitute him for Commander Wolf. This is basically the same figure. Yeah, he's got a different color scheme. Yeah, his elbows don't bend quite as much as Rex's. But other than that, he's still a fantastic looking clone trooper. And I like his face better. I like the scar that Commander Wolf has, and they absolutely nailed that. Even though they're clones, they all have subtle differences. He's seen some action, and I just absolutely love that, and I love what they did with this. So he's actually taken the place of Captain Rex. Sorry, dude. Commander Wolf is number 6. All right, now we're getting to the good stuff. Number 5 is Walgreens exclusive General Veers. Now, what I love about Veers is everything I love about Tarkin, but more. General Veers is from my favorite Star Wars movie, Empire Strikes Back. The likeness is spot on. You have the added bonus of way more accessories. He has a standard Imperial officer's hat and officer's outfit. He also comes with his field commander gear, the helmet, the vest, a gun. He's got just way cooler accessories. So you kind of get 2 figures in one, and I just absolutely love that. So that puts him solidly at number 5. Jumping just ahead of General Veers is we have the Target exclusive Gamorrean Guard. Gamorrean Guard? I don't know how you say it. I don't know how I say it actually, now that I think about it. But that's what this is. For a while, this was actually sitting at my number 1 spot because he is so good. First shorts. Lots of great accessories, lots of great detailing. Sure, he's $30, sure he's exclusive, and that sucks, but you know what? Figure in hand, I absolutely loved it. He's a lot of fun to pose, his mouth moves, he just ticks so many boxes. Fun alien, I just really like it. The next slot is actually a tie. I just couldn't make a decision of who is number 3, who is number 2, so I just put them both in number 2, skipping number 3 altogether. This is my list, fight me. This is tied for number 2, 4LOM and Zuckuss. They are a pair. They have to go together. I couldn't have one higher and one lower, so they are collectively number 3 and number 2, or just tied for number 2. But you have to own them both if you own one. Zuckuss is a fantastic bug-looking alien with a really cool cloth and a really rad gun. Lots of great detailing and paint apps. 4LOM, same story, but he's a robot. He has better arms, better arm articulation, way better paint app, a fantastic face sculpt, and again, they're from my favorite Star Wars movies, so there's a lot of nostalgia there. For 2 wish lists in a row, these sat in the number 1 spot, tied with the other bounty hunters that hadn't been released yet. So it was great to get these two released this year. This one was a Disney Store exclusive, or if you lived in Canada, Toys R Us, because those still exist there. This one was just a numbered version in the wave. I'm glad they both came out this year after a long dry spell of no bounty hunters. And if you've been paying attention, you know exactly what figure is next. The Porg 2-pack. I use them in almost every review as fodder to get destroyed or shot or something, and I'm just kidding. I'm absolutely kidding. I'm so sorry. I couldn't resist. Number one is Dengar. Oh, he's my favorite. He just is. Sometime over the years, Dengar kind of slipped up as my favorite of the 6 bounty hunters, over Boba Fett, over IG-88, over all those guys. Dengar is my man. Why? I don't know. I just don't know. His name is cool. He's got bandages. He's got cool armor. I could go on forever on why I like him now. It's a perfect figure. He comes with a backpack. That backpack doesn't just clip on his back, but it kind of wraps around and tucks in so it looks like it's actually strapped on. He comes with 2 guns. He's got a gun belt. He's got a fantastic amount of articulation, but on top of that, he's wearing slippers. I mean, sure, those are his shoes. It just looks like he's on the job and he's gonna kill somebody, but also he just wants to relax, and I just really dig that. The face sculpt is spot on, amazing. There's a lot of detail, and it's not just, oh yeah, it looks like the actor. It's just the way that they paint it now. There's a lot of shading, there's a lot of depth in there. It gives him a lifelike look. Unlike, what was it, last year with Qui-Gon, where like the face looked great, but because of the way they did the eyes, he looked like he had dead eyes. That just doesn't happen anymore with this new face printing, and I absolutely love it. The wash on the bandages, everything just looks so good. I can't stop playing with Dengar. I love Dengar so much. I mean, I love all the bounty hunters, and it's great to have all 6. And again, a lot of these figures I may have not reviewed yet, this guy included, but I have recorded the reviews. I just haven't edited it and posted it. Long story short, absolutely love this guy. So that's it. That's my 2018 top 10 list slash, maybe the runners up and the bottom. Let me know down in the comments what your favorites were. What are your top 10 of the year? Did you get all of them? Did you miss some? Were there some that you kind of regret not getting in 2018 that came out in 2018? Just a fun little thing. The archive line did come out technically, I think, like the last week of this year, but I'm not counting it. I'm putting that into 2019. That's how I'm doing that. But that's it. Like, share, and subscribe. There's a couple different ways you can help my channel out down in the downstairs area if you want to go take a peek down there. Thanks for getting this far, and I'll see you later. Bye.